Hey, welcome to Main Pod Girl. This is a podcast made by popheads for popheads. Every episode, y'all can check in with us as we discuss your burning questions, as well as what's happening in pop music. Throughout this series, we'll be chiming in on our favorite pop culture topics with some of our all-time favorite artists and music commentators. I'm your host, pop rock artist and songwriter AJ Marks. I'm so excited to welcome today's guest. She's been in the acting game for over 10 years with credits including Captain Marvel, Once Upon a Time, Fuller House, I, Tonya, Ghostbusters Afterlife, The Vampire Diaries, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and her Emmy-nominated role in The Handmaid's Tale. And did I mention she's only 16 years old? Now she's a pop rock singer-songwriter who just released her debut EP, Bittersweet 16. It's Mckenna Grace.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what a career, seriously.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Oh my gosh, Ugly Crier has been on repeat for the entire month. I'm so obsessed with it. It's actually one of my most played songs of this year. I think it's like number 3 or number 2.
Yes. Thank you. That's so cool.
I love the line, "I'll never be Taylor Swift."
I have a Taylor Swift candle.
Oh my God, I love
that. For the
audio
listeners, I have a Taylor Swift candle right here.
Oh my God. I got my sister one of those of like Harry Styles as Jesus for Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
She thought it was so funny.
That's so funny.
Speaking of artists we like, let's start off a little icebreaker. Usually we like to kick off this podcast by saying what we're listening to currently.
Okay.
And I'm in my Kid Laroi era, so I'm really loving that new song, Love Again. And I've also been listening to a lot of Peach PRC. How about you? What are you listening to right now?
Okay, well, Biba Doobie's Glue song came out, and I've been listening to it all morning. It's so good. I am a really big fan of this band called Lovejoy, and they just released a new single that I've been streaming nonstop. Call Me What You Want. It's great. And you know, whenever I wrote this EP, I was in a really big like dad rock phase. I listened to like a lot of Nirvana. I listened to a lot of like Green Day and stuff like that. And then I moved on, and now I got a little bit back in there. And right now I've gotten back into like a little more mellow, chill vibe, because I made a playlist for my friend with like dad rock that I wanted them to listen to. Then I made a playlist for my other friend of like mellow, chill songs I wanted them to listen to. So now I've just been like listening to all the chill stuff like Mac DeMarco and like Tame Impala and TV Girl. I'm a really big TV Girl fan.
I love that. With all this throwing around of new music, why don't we put this energy into a playlist? Mckenna, I'm going to throw you some rapid fire prompts and you have to answer with the first song that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Okay. I have my Spotify open.
Okay. You're at a party and you get to cue a song.
Oh, I would be a jerk and I'd play Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh my God, yes.
I'd be a mean person and I'd play that.
Never gonna give you. Oh yeah, that's so great.
I'd rickroll everyone.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Yeah, just like shove it somewhere in the queue.
Like every playlist that I make for my friends, I go so overboard because I get so excited if somebody's like, yeah, I'll like listen to a playlist if you make it. I'm like, okay, I'll make you a playlist, because that's like my favorite thing. I have 175 playlists.
Wow.
It's so bad on my private Spotify. Then on my public one, I've posted like 60. It's so bad. Like I'll go super overboard and make like the longest playlists, and then I'll just hide Never Gonna Give You Up somewhere in there.
Just a small Rickroll.
Evil.
All right. The next prompt is you're staring out of a rainy window and imagining you're in a music video.
Ooh, maybe like For the First Time, Mac DeMarco, or like, you know, like something like chill and sad so that I can just be like edgy and like sad out the window.
You'd be like, oh my God, I have so many problems.
Yeah, I'm just so sad. In my sad era for this car ride.
Okay, next, you're getting ready for a red carpet and you need a song to pump you up.
Oh my God, I literally have a playlist for this.
Really? A red carpet playlist?
Yeah, I literally do that because I get stressed out and I get like nervous, and I don't know, I'm not like a super like confident person, and so I'm like, okay, I need to cue up my music and get ready. Let me find this playlist. Wait, that's so funny because I feel like on there, okay, one of my all-time favorite songs is Me and Your Mama, Childish Gambino. It is like, that is the song that if I could go back and listen to any song for the first time again, it would be that because it's so good. And like Bloody Mary, Lady Gaga, New Magic Wand, Tyler, the Creator. We have like that song, Who Is She? And it's by I Monster. Like there's so many. Oh, and like Bang Bang Bang, Soho Dolls, and Liquid Smooth, Mitsugi. Oh, so good.
I love that you already had a playlist ready.
I already have a playlist for it. I've made like so many of those playlists. No, I always come prepped. Okay,
so you're at a karaoke night with your best friends and you want to belt your heart out. What song do you play?
My two go-to karaoke songs are You Oughta Know, Alanis Morissette, and Hopelessly Devoted from Grease.
Oh, that's so good.
Those are my two go-tos every time.
That's such a perfect like pop, country, Broadway blend, that the Olivia Newton-John song. It's just
so good.
And her vocals are insane. Like,
it's crazy. Oh, and Before He Cheats, Carrie Underwood is such a good karaoke song.
That to me feels like an instant staple. Like as soon as that song came out, I was like, all right, this is going to be around forever.
So good.
And then the last one is someone asks you what song you're most proud of. What do you play them?
Oh my gosh, probably a bunch of music that hasn't come out yet. I'm so excited for my new music I've been creating recently. But on my EP, I'd say out of all of my released music, the song I'm the most proud of is Post-Party Trauma.
Ooh.
I'd say that one is like, I'm the most proud of that song.
I will say that my favorite song on the EP is Buzzkill Baby. It's such a mood to have someone just like always be so gloomy and pessimistic and it like just weighs you down. Like, is this low-key a song about online haters? Because I feel like it also applies that way too.
Does.
Like I wasn't sure if it was about a person or like.
No, yeah, it can totally relate to anything. But like for me, it's just kind of about that. Like in the second verse, it's like, now you text me 2 a.m. on a Saturday. It's just like, oh, you're such a buzzkill. Like, why are you messing with me? Like, ugh. Buzzkill.
There was a line that was like, you hate to see me succeed or something like that. And I was like, that's where I was like, I feel like this could go so many ways.
It was like, now I'm happy. Does that make you miserable?
Yes.
Yeah.
That stuck out to me.
It can really apply to a lot of situations, which I love. I love making songs like that.
And those songs, like over time, will apply to different people in your life and you're just like, oh man, like now I have another Buzzkill Baby.
Yeah.
Were you like working on cutting out negativity at the time that you wrote this?
Honestly, whenever I wrote, it's so funny because I wrote a lot of my EP and it is very like poppy punky and angry. I'm not an angry person. I'm scared of confrontation. I'm not a confrontational person either. Like I'm a doormat basically. But like, I don't know, for me, I had gone through a bunch of situations and I was like in a really bad place. And I found music was the best outlet for anything that I was feeling because I don't get angry with people or I don't tell people how I feel. And so music was such a great way for me to be able to like, I don't know, be a little angry and be like, that was just me like putting my negativity somewhere else. I just kind of released it, which was nice. It was nice to be able to release those emotions and put them into music and then like move on. And now it's like a little time capsule of what I was going through at the time because it's so funny. I wrote all of these songs so long ago and now they're finally coming out and it's like, whoa, I remember whenever that happened or, oh, I remember what I was feeling whenever I wrote this. Like, it's really, really cool.
You're like emotionally removed from it now and you're like, I can just appreciate the song, but you almost like wouldn't be able to write it again because it was just such a moment in time that you had to be there.
Yeah, it's funny because then now whenever I go to a writing session or I go to write a song or something, I'm just like, I can't write about those feelings or those situations anymore. I'm just like, I'm over it. And it's really great to be able to feel that.
Yeah. Writing specifically can take out parts of your subconscious that you like didn't think that you had, or parts of your personality that you like never show people.
I make up stories and stuff for my songs a little bit in the way that like, I feel like most of my songs are breakup songs, but then they'll be about a situation with like someone or something, or like a feeling. And I had never been on a date or anything. And then I wrote like 4 breakup songs, you know? So it's funny, but I wrote them just about like situations or people or feelings.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. My producers and like my co-writers that I work with a lot, like, no, it's so bad. Because I like am so specific. Just like, I'm so bad. I will write something like,
is this play about us?
Down to, yes, that's literally me. I will write something like, that's a breakup song or something. But then I'll just put something in there that's like so specific to like a situation that only I know. And it's just like, it's just so fun. I love creating images and storytelling that like people can visualize. But then also I'll listen to it and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so bad. I can't believe I said that.
Also, another like dramatic line that I absolutely love is "You even ruined air for me."
That's so dramatic. No, my friend texted me after I released the song and they just sent me a screenshot of that line and they're like, whoa, well, that's a bar. Like that just made me laugh so hard. Yeah, I was really feeling dramatic there. I was like, you know what? You even ruined air for me.
Yeah, I love you were like, imagine that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine that.
It's so like tongue in cheek, and it plays into like the brattiness of the genre. Are there some lyrics that just like made you laugh while writing them? You're like, I'm so goofy.
I'm so goofy.
I'm so unserious.
Oh my God, that is really funny though. You even ruined air for me. Like that line makes me laugh whenever I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so dramatic. But maybe I'd have stayed with you for years with a sociopathic lying piece. And that'll make me laugh. I'm like, oh God, the drama.
Okay, so going on your acting just real quick. Early on in your career, you made a habit of playing younger versions of so many iconic characters like Captain Marvel, Daphne Blake, Emma Swan, Tanya Harding, Caroline Forbes, Theo Crane, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. How do you go about taking a legendary character like that and finding a balance between like copying their mannerisms, like the actor's mannerisms of the adult version, but like making the younger version have their own quirks and be their own like person?
It's really interesting, like trying to play younger versions of people, but then also trying to bring your own to the character, especially whenever playing a younger version of someone, you don't work with them a lot. Like you don't work with the older version a lot. So I kind of have to do my own research and my own kind of, shablam or whatever. It's always interesting trying to mimic someone, but then bring your own to a character. Something I did with The Haunting of Hill House with Theo Crane, since I was there for so long, and it was really a switch between the adults and the kids, was I kept a journal. We had 2 journals that me and the adult actress for Theo would switch back and forth, and we'd write in it from the perspective of the character, which was really fun.
That is so cute.
And just recently I did a limited series called A Friend of the Family where I played the older version of someone, and it was actually a real life story. So I was also playing a real person, but the younger version was there for the episodes before me. So I had to be mimicking the younger version.
Oh.
There was a lot of really specific mannerisms between the 2 of us for this character. So I would have to go with that, the specific mannerisms for the real life person that were written in the script. But then also the younger version had some specific things that she would do. So I'd try to copy the way that she smiled, or go and watch playback for her and copy the way that she did things, but then also try to copy the real life person, but then also try to bring some of myself, but then also the script says I should do this. So it's like, it's a lot, but it's fulfilling as an actor to be able to like do things that are hard.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, I'm glad you're being challenged. If you could reprise any of the roles that you played someone's younger version, but this time you were the older version, who would it be?
Captain Marvel. I want to be Marvel. Sabrina would be so cool, or like Daphne. That would be so cool. Like, I hope that they make another live action Scooby-Doo sometime. Those live action Scooby-Doo films with Matthew Lillard and all of them, like, were actually my favorite films growing up. So like if they ever did something like that, I'd die.
The Linda Cardellini portrayal of Velma, I think, just sticks with me as like the canonical Velma. Like, even when I watch Dead to Me, I'm like, some part of me just has to detach her just far enough away from Velma, but she's just so.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, she just is. That's the orange jumpsuit Velma, right?
Mm-hmm, yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
How iconic was that?
She slayed.
Honestly, yeah.
Also, which of your roles do you think you're most similar to in real life?
I'd have to think. I feel like I'm so different from most of my roles because, like, I don't think I've ever really played someone that was like me or that had my personality. I've always played really dark roles, and I really pride myself on transforming for roles or like completely changing who I am for roles and stuff, because it's just like I find that that's really cool to be able to do as an actor. But like, I find something in every role that I play to connect to. I really don't know. I don't know. Totally I feel fair. Like I'm so different.
It's good though, because you can kind of like leave it at the door, you know, and be like, I'm walking into this character and now I'm walking out. And it's not like that weird blend. Like sometimes I feel like it must have been really difficult for someone like Raven Simone or Miley Cyrus to play characters that had their own name and like were kind of being themselves, but like a fictional version of themselves or something.
Yeah, it must feel weird.
Now that you're coming out with music and people all kind of know you, but it's like now you're actually like letting them in and like getting to know you as like an artist. How do you feel about your introduction to Mckenna Grace and not some of the roles that you've played instead?
It's pretty scary. I feel like I'm a pretty low-key person. I'm a pretty like not secretive, but like I don't know. I don't like tell people a lot, or I don't like talk a lot. So it's weird to all of a sudden just write things and be like, okay, here you go, world. Like, here's my like deepest like feelings. Boink, and then just like throw them out there. And everybody's like, whoa, I didn't know you felt that way. And I'm like, yeah. So it's just weird and cool and exciting, but scary. But it's a lot of mixed emotions for me. I'm really excited though, because, you know, acting, it's all the characters, and then with this it's very personal to me, so it's weird and it's exciting.
Yeah, it's nice that you get to have that like balance between the two kind of careers. All right, so now let's play another game.
Okay.
And for this episode, I have a brand new game called There's a First Time for Everything.
There is a first time for everything.
Which is fitting because this is the first time we'll be playing it on the show. So I'm going to ask you for some first time music and acting related questions, and then you can take us right down memory lane.
Okay.
First artist that inspired you to make music?
Conan Gray.
Conan Gray.
I'm wearing my Conan Gray Your Sweater merch right now. Oh, I actually got to meet him the other day at an event, and it was crazy to me because it was weird to meet someone at an event and that person like doesn't know that they're like actually the reason that you're there because of how much he inspired me. I don't think that I would not be making music right now if I hadn't discovered his album.
I could easily see him on like an Ugly Crier remix. Maybe that's just like me trying to manifest it. But we've said things on this show before that have ended up coming true. So I'm putting out into the world Conan Gray Ugly Crier remix.
Oh my God.
All right. First TV show you binge watched?
First TV show I binge watched. I remember binge watching The Walking Dead when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
I think I watched that show and like asked my mom a question, and she was like, hey, Mckenna, you can't watch that. So I haven't gotten back into it.
Okay. So another one is first album you bought, or like first album you've listened to in full.
I mean, you know what? I'm not the type of person, like I listen to a lot of songs, few and far between, but I'm not really the type of person who will just listen to a full album like front to back. So whenever I do, it's like, that's all I will listen to for like a year. So there's like only a few albums that like I can think of, but like, you know, Kid Crow, of course, because that was literally everything. And then all last year, it was actually, I was in the 0.05% of top listeners for DJO because they released an album, Gloom. I listened to it front to back, back to front, all of it, like constantly all year. Like anytime I'd be doing anything, I'd just have it idly in the background or like in my AirPods. And then like Lovejoy's EP and album like are literally my favorite things. Sorry, I know that the question was first, but now I'm just like getting excited about albums I like.
I love that you're such like a consumer, like such a avid fan. Yeah,
I love music so much.
Do you remember the first song you covered?
There is actually a video of me on YouTube from like 10 years ago of me singing "We Are Never Getting Back Together" with my dad.
Do you like that it's on YouTube, or do you really want to take it down?
I don't know how I feel about it. It's pretty goofy, but it's actually like, it's just funny because I like being able to go and like watch it and be like, oh my God.
Is it up on like your own account, or did someone else upload it?
It's up on my account.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. I had like a Blackbird cover that I had to take down at some point because I was like, oh man.
That's so funny.
Like, I can't have this be like responsible for representing me to like anyone listening for the first time. Okay, first acting role that you felt like was a giant step in your career.
Gifted. I did a film called Gifted, and that felt like one of the bigger films that I had ever done at the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like it really changed a lot in my career. It really did. It just really changed a lot of the way that I viewed acting. And like, I was really young on that set. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was just like important to me, and it still like has a really special place in my heart.
That's cute. I love that. What was the first time you heard a Taylor Swift song?
Who knows? Who knows? Like, I love Taylor Swift. You know, this is something funny. I never like told anyone this, but my parents used to work at a bar, restaurant or something that Taylor Swift performed at like way before she was famous. And my mom's laughing right now. And like nobody knew there who she was. And like my mom went home early the night that Taylor Swift was performing at this bar. And I'm like, I can't like believe that. Like way before Taylor, like she was famous. Like it was at the bar that my parents worked at, and my mom went home early that night.
When they invent time travel, it'll be like you have to pay to go to like certain places and have certain experiences. And I just imagine that'll just be like to go to that day. I feel like that's going to be pricey.
Can't wait. I'll be saving up.
And the last one is first music video that made an impression on you.
Ooh. What?
I'm laughing because I used to play the Britney Spears.
Oh my God, that's so true. Okay, literally. So we used to live in California. We used to live in a place called Ventura, which is like 2 hours out from LA. And we lived there for 5 years. So probably like ages 8 to 12, I would get really car sick, and like we would have to drive out to LA like every single day. And it would be 2 hours there, 2 hours home. So like over the day, we'd probably spend like 4 or 5 hours in the car every single day for 5 years. Well, not like every single day, but it felt like it because we were driving a lot. And literally I had the little TVs on the back of the headrests.
I love those so much.
But like I was so young that I was still like in a car seat. So I'd be sitting in my car seat watching Britney Spears' My Prerogative, like extended album. All I had was a Britney Spears CD, and it had all of her music videos on it. And that was all I watched for like 5 years.
Well, I wish I had one of those. I had like little films. Like I remember I liked Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Rent, which I shouldn't have had Rent at that age or whatever. But I wish I had like little CDs of music videos. That sounds so much more fun.
I had nothing but Britney Spears' My Prerogative.
Just the one CD. That's so funny.
Well, yeah, it was like her greatest hits, but like I feel like the cover was called like My Prerogative or something, which is really funny. There was a lot.
It was stacked. So now we've come to the last part of the show, which is our top 5. This is where we list our top 5 of a certain category. And this episode, we're going to be doing our top 5 Green Day songs.
All right.
And this was so difficult for me because I was like, how do I make a list and like prove that I'm a Green Day fan, but then also make it accurate? Because I feel like it's just going to be all singles because their singles are the best. They always knew which songs to make singles. So I don't really have any deep cuts on my top 5. I was just like, whatever.
No, I don't have any deep ones either. And I feel like I feel so fake, but then I'm like, but also, I mean, they're the biggest hits for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were just really good at choosing singles. So my number 5 is Basket Case. I love that song. I actually never even realized that it was like a 90s song. For some reason, when I was growing up, I always thought it was like a recent song because they played it so much on the radio. my number 4 is 21 Guns, which I kind of thought that was going to be my number 1 because I played it so much as a kid, but I think I overplayed it, so it dropped down to number 4. My number 3 is Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Of course.
Oh, it's just so well written, and it's like, what a cool name. It was like a cool, edgy, emo name for a song. And number 2 is American Idiot. Mm-hmm. I love this song so much, but I think as a kid, I like remember playing Canadian Idiot more, the Weird Al Yankovic song.
I love Weird Al. Oh my gosh.
So I like kind of like sometimes will be singing along to American Idiot and sing the Weird Al lyrics. And I'm like, wait, that's not right.
That's so funny.
And my number 1 is Wake Me Up When September Ends.
That one's so good.
Yeah, I thought that was by the Backstreet Boys when I was a kid. Because it starts with the dun 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 dun. Oh and I was always like, that kind of sounds like it would be a Backstreet Boys song.
Mine, I feel like 5, Basket Case.
Slay, same.
I'd say 4 is probably Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Okay.
And then 3 would be Brain Stew. I have that one. And then 2 would be A Holiday. And then 1 would be Good Riddance, Time of Your Life.
Yes. Oh, those 2 were so close to making my list.
I think Holiday so good.
Maybe is number 6 for me. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I felt like I had too much of the American Idiot album on the thing, but it's their best album, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
So thank you so much, Mckenna, for joining me on this podcast. If people want to follow you or find out more about what you're doing, where should they go?
I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, but not really. I don't think I'm on Twitter, actually. I don't know, I'm never on Twitter, but I do have
a Twitter account.
I have, I'm under Mckenna Grace and Mckenna Graceful. I'm on Spotify. You should definitely check it out, or Apple Music, or Amazon Music, whatever you listen to.
Yeah, go stream the new EP.
Yes,
it's
please.
Out now.
And thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on. Thank you to Noah for the theme music, and make sure to rate and review this podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening on right now. See you next time.